So Ben Whittaker's US debut was not a failure. It was a warning. The talent is obvious. The entertainment is obvious. But the problem is the ceiling. Because at light heavyweight, talent alone does not get you past these monsters. So Ben Whittaker went to America and did what Ben Whittaker does. He entertained, he showboated, he landed sharp punches, but beneath the flash, something more serious is happening. Under Andy Lee, he is learning, he is maturing, and he is slowly becoming more than just a viral fighter. So Ben Whittaker, he had a really good performance, and I think it's important to recognize the following. He's really increasing his boxing intelligence under Andy Lee. From my perspective, I think Andy Lee is a great trainer because I think he's learning. And I think Andy Lee is good at creating optimal boxing environments. One of the things that he's learning, or one of the things that I've noticed, is that now he's controlling pace. And also, he's showing improvements. He's showing improvements with his footwork, particularly with the half step back. And there's an educated jab. It's a jab that controls the pace, and sometimes it hits you to the head, and sometimes it hits you to the body. So I think there's a lot there. And I think that Andy Lee has been a significant factor with Ben Whittaker. And hopefully that relationship continues, and hopefully that relationship continues to prosper. And it just formulates that question of how important is a trainer to a boxer. And I think that trainers are essential. And I always go back to the Lennox Lewis, Emmanuel Stewart situation. Lennox Lewis was a great talent, no doubt about it. Great genetic potential. But under the guidance of Emmanuel Stewart, he was able to realize that potential. So I think that Andy Lee is doing a great job. And like I said, Ben Whittaker had a great performance last week. Also, I think that what's noticeable is that Ben Whittaker is developing more power. And the reason why he's developing more power is that he is sitting down on his punches. More power. What does that mean? What does it mean if you've got more power? Well, if you have more power, you have more knockouts. But more power, i.e. you're sitting down on the punches, means less punches. But he's utilizing the power effectively. He's not using pity-pat punches, so to speak, or arm punches. He's punching with force, and he's controlling the distance. He's controlling the narrative of fights. It'll be interesting to see what happens when his competition increases. Another part of Ben, which I think is really essential, and why people tune in, is his extravagance. His extravagance makes him marketable and potentially viral. The premise to that statement is it important to be marketable? And is it important to be viral? I would argue that that's essential. Virality and attention is essential in boxing. It's essential in the modern day world. It's essential in capitalism. Indeed, the numbers matter. Signing to Eddie Hearn is based not just, but the numbers, the virality, that's important. And he currently has a strong machine backing him. That Eddie Hearn machine is powerful. And if he keeps delivering performances like this, which will build his attention and build his CV and build his resume, he'll be definitely going places. And like I've stated, the performance from Ben was good. It was a dominant performance. It was a stoppage. He looked very good. But as part of Ben's journey, I would say that he needs more rounds, and he needs more competitive rounds. For example, he needs to be able to deal with pressure. He needs to be able to deal with technical boxers. He needs to be able to deal with good jabbers, people with great footwork. He needs to be able to deal with powerful punchers. He needs to be able to deal with opposition that has great speed, great ability at adapting. There's all these puzzles that Ben has not seen before. Yes, you can duplicate it in camp, but he needs to experience it in the actual professional ring. And that's really essential. That's really important. If you don't put him in that environment, then that will be a handicap for him for when he goes up against those challenges. And that leads to the next point. That actually leads to the next point, because the problem is not Ben's talent. He has potentially elite talent, but it's his division. Think of it, or think of this. Ben is up against Bivol, Beterbiev, or Benavidez. So if you fight Bivol, you've got the great Bivol jab, you've got great footwork, and then you've got this unique adaptability and this ability to go through the gears. And we don't know how far it can go, because against Beterbiev in the rematch, Bivol showed that he had more levels to his game, which is absolutely unbelievable. But then if you fight Beterbiev, then you fight the power and the pressure and the ability to generate phenomenal power from short punches. His arm punches hurt. That's a brutal fight. That's a difficult fight. And if you fight Benavidez, you have the power, you have the pressure and the underrated IQ. Benavidez, he really doubles and triples the left hook really nice, but then he does the drill where what he'll do, he'll start off slow in the round and then he'll build up momentum in the last minute of the round. And he's a very good pressure fighter. And again, if you fight him, it's going to be vicious. And then you ask yourself the question, okay, stylistically, who would you want to fight? I mean, you wouldn't want to fight either of these people. If you fight Bivol, it's a technical problem, a massive technical issue. If you fight Beterbiev, you could get really badly hurt. So technically, you would think it's an easier puzzle to solve, but then you can get hurt. Because you know, when you fight Beterbiev, you will get hurt, because he will close the distance, get in range, and start throwing hurtful punches. Benavidez is like a mixture between the ring adaptability and the brutal, vicious nature of Beterbiev. So it's like neither of these fights are... I think the problem is that the champions are not good. All the champions are elite. There is no easy path with either of these people. And that becomes a massive, massive problem. How do you prepare for Bivol? How do you prepare for Beterbiev? How do you prepare for Benavidez? So the problem isn't Ben's talent. The problem is not the fact that he hasn't got a good trainer, because he seems to have a great trainer. So he'll have great camps and he'll have good seasoning. The problem is the elite talent in the division. So Ben needs to continue to develop his skill, develop his adaptability, develop his ring IQ, and build on his mentorship. And to continue to create those viral moments that will help his career. And if he continues to not just be a great boxer in the ring, but develop a brand, and if he continues to develop virality, and if he continues to be dominant, if the virality and the attention create a financial reward, one of these champions will probably take a risk and fight him. So with all that said, this is my final statement. Think of this. Ben is not short on talent. He is short on time, rounds, and experience, but not talent. And under Andy Lee, the boxing intelligence is growing. It's growing exponentially. And the power is developing. The showmanship is there. But light heavyweight, this light heavyweight division, it's a dangerous place. Bivol, Beterbiev, and Benavidez are not normal targets. So Ben must keep building, keep learning, keep creating viral moments. Because if the money becomes big enough, one champion may decide the risk is worth it. So that's the end of the video. Now I'm trying to build a digital boxing community. That means I'm interested in your thoughts, I'm interested in your perspectives, and I'm interested in your observations. Now, if you simply want to support the channel, simply press the like button, the hype button, and subscribe. And if you want to watch more content like this, then simply click here or click here. As always, thanks for your time. It is much appreciated.